that's the drive. Way better view on the way back. Can't believe I worried so much about it on the way. And this damn ridge. I don't lose my phone. Yeah, I don't even know exactly what mountain that is, but it's like Three Peaks, but I don't think it's Three Sisters because that's like back by Bend, so I don't know. We'll figure this out at some point. But yeah, that's the mountains. Okay, so Dodge Charger review. First of all, awful placement of the vents, nowhere to put my mount. Second, it's a cop car. Like, I don't know, I knew that when I got it, but they didn't have like any really good options in San Francisco when I was looking for something because, so I drove from San Francisco to Bend, and typically for that kind of a drive, like multi-terrain, long distance, like 6+ hours over various like climate types, I prefer to get like a large SUV, typically a Suburban, something like that, because then you have, it just feels safe and durable and like, I'll be okay. Worst case scenario, like it can handle anything, but that wasn't really an option. So I was like, all right, like let's see what they have. And it was either a Charger or an Altima. Nothing against Altimas, but I just didn't feel like that was really what I was looking for this trip. So I was like, all right, let's check out the Charger. I've been interested, never terribly interested to be honest with you, but I've never driven one. So I was like, all right, that's what rentals are for. Like let's explore. So we got one. Initial impressions getting into the car: bulky, like meaty, it just had a lot of body to it without feeling a ton of finesse. I actually had to drive with two hands that was probably the first time I put my like left hand on the wheel out of necessity in, oh god, I don't know, years, literally. Never, always one-handed, cigarette over here, wheel over here, all day, every day. Yeah, so that was a bit, and going fast in it didn't feel terribly comfortable. Now, I will say, as I got more used to the car, driving style did actually improve. I came into form with it, I guess you could say, and it worked out. So I typically get like large SUVs for this sort of a drive. One thing that the Charger actually did deliver on is its bulkiness actually kind of lent itself. It feels sturdy, it feels durable, it feels like, honestly, it feels like I could ram somebody else with this thing. So going through the mountains and stuff, windy roads, like I felt safe. I will say that. I haven't felt unsafe in this vehicle, so that's pretty cool. Not terribly fast. I mean, it goes, but like it doesn't, the 0 to 60, whatever it is awful. I can tell you that from a couple of close encounters. I had this thing for like a week. And I got up to 112 on the way up to Oregon. That's the fastest I drove the car. And it took me like until like the 6th hour of driving it to even be comfortable doing that. And it was actually kind of unintentional. On the way back down here, I think the most I hit was like 118, which, I mean, given the terrain I was driving over and the level of traffic, low, pretty unimpressive, honestly. But that felt like plenty in this car, I will say that. So I was like, all right, cool. But yeah, overall, like, I'm glad I checked it out. It feels like a cop car. Like, it feels like, so it's big, it's spacious, it's comfortable. Like, it feels like something that you're expected to be stuck in for like 8 hours a day, like doing what cops do. So that actually has lent itself fairly well to the fact that this is an 8-hour, 500-mile drive. So that's worked. It gets comfortable enough. The sound system is trash. Oh my god, I had to reset whoever the hell drove this thing before me because it was all fucked up, and the speed to volume ratio setting was like all weird, so it would just like wobble, like whenever I was like varying speeds by like minor amounts, like I would like speed up 5 miles an hour and it would blast, and then I would slow down like 2 miles an hour and it would just go dead. And it's not supposed to do that. It's only supposed to continually rise. It's supposed to be like an orchestrated crescendo in accordance with your speed. Oh, I gotta turn here. I mean, the Android Auto thing works well. That's perfectly fine. The mileage is actually better than I anticipated. It just feels so bulky that I assumed it was going to be getting like 22 miles a gallon. Actually averaged 29.2 on the way up, so that's chill. No idea on the way back. I've been averaging about the same speed, and it's essentially the same terrain though. The drive back from Bend is actually way prettier going through Shasta and everything though, because you don't see the majority of like the natural beauty up there with the lakes. When you're headed north, you do see it coming south because you're hitting it head on, just the way the freeway is laid out. So that's actually pretty cool. But yeah, overall, like if I was a cop, then yeah, I could sit in this thing for 8 hours a day, cruise around city streets and stuff. You don't need a ton of get up and go because you're never going terribly fast. You got get up and go, but not like top speed. And if you're in a city, then top speed is probably not really your biggest priority. And it gets to a reasonable speed fast enough. I'd be interested in driving a higher engine variant of this model because it is a rental, so it's not that great. It's probably as close to base, yeah, if not base as possible. But overall, for a base model of the car, I get it. You could ram through some shit with this. There's plenty of room in the back seat. The front seats are comfortable. Light on features and also like simple things like where the air is blowing right now. Like I don't want to have to dig through your infotainment system somewhere to figure out how to blow the air on my feet instead of my face. Like that should be a knob. I'm all for computerization of features and smoothing things out and having clean lines on your dash. The cockpit should be simple, the cockpit should be clean, but it shouldn't be so clean and simple that it becomes barren and I can't find shit. So no points for that. Pretty pissed about it. And like now my seat cooler is on. I didn't even know I had a seat cooler in this car because there's no button for it, and I'm not trying to dig through the apps. I had a seat cooler on my last 3 cars and I used it all day because there was a button, but this one just turned itself on and now I'm scared to touch anything because I don't want it to turn off. It's actually pretty nice. So yeah, so that's my rant. Thank you, Future Kirk, for watching this and listening, and probably no one else. Also sorry that this is just a video of my hand because there's like no good mounting positions in this car. I will say that. No wonder cops have entire laptops over here because you can't put shit anywhere else. So, all right, later.